Guys, old habits die hard, don't they? I found that out the hard way yesterday on ticker AMBR. So let's jump into TraderVue and see what mistakes did I make, and more importantly, what can we learn from them so that we can make 160 bucks the next time and not lose the same amount. So guys, we're in TraderVue. So I traded the stock yesterday, November 26th, in my Interactive Brokers account, ticker AMBR. That came out with news at 7:30. Okay, and so I traded about 1,400 shares total, so 700 short and 700 to cover. Lost about $160 in net P&L, which includes my fees and commissions on this trade. So this is what happened. So they came out with news at 7:30, okay, and it pretty much rejected around the $220 level and flushed back below $2. So I ignored it at this point. I did not take any trades. So as I saw this grinding up, my first mistake was I already had a very strong, actually strong is a weak word. I had a very rigid bias that this will probably reject again around the $220 to $25 level. And that's why I took my first entry here short, averaged up, so added twice, added here. I was pretty much out of buying power because my Interactive Brokers account is way below the PDT level. I don't have much in there. And this thing keeps going, 267, it sells off there, comes down to about 234. At this point, I'm pretty much certain that it's going to go below my entry point. So my average was about 225. But buyer stepped in. This thing was super choppy. I don't know if you want to call it rigged. It was a Hong Kong stock, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was rigged. But I mean, this thing would not rip and would not die either. So it kept just chopping long and shorts. I mean, both ways. So I obviously it. The good thing was next time at least I promised myself that if it goes above 250, I'm definitely covering, taking my loss, and that's what I did. I already had waited too long to cut my loser because here's the thing. Let me scroll down. I'll show you one thing. So 8:15 a.m. is when I added my short, minus 200, minus 200. So I was in with about 700 shares short. I cut my loser 40 minutes later, guys. That's bad. My average hold time on my winning trade is about 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes, and I held on to this loser for 40 minutes, and that's bad on my part. So that was my first mistake, that having a very rigid bias about this stock rejecting the $220 level. The second mistake I made was I completely ignored the risk to reward in this case. If I had just thought about just even a 1:3, that if I was risking 10 cents to make 30 cents, I should have waited a little more to at least for this to get to about 250. Added there, and I could have still looked for a pullback, if not 30 cents, but at least 15, 20 cents. That would have been a much better trade. Obviously, hindsight is 2020, but I should have kept that in mind. But again, coming back to my first point, my bias was so rigid that I did not even anticipate this going to 250. And lastly, the last mistake I made was that I have been trading for about 2 years now, and in these 2 years, even in my when I was practicing in the sim, I had never traded this stock because I upload all my trades to TraderVue, checked, even checked Notion because I have some screenshots in Notion as well. Because stocks are like humans sometimes. I mean, they move in certain ways time and again. And I've seen this with many other stocks, and I had never traded this one before. So I should have been a bit more careful. It was a Asian stock, if I'm not mistaken, in Hong Kong. It was super easy to borrow. IB alone had over 1 million shares to short, so I should have been a bit more patient with my entry, considering the risk to reward, and a bit, not a bit, but a lot more fluid in my entry and my exit. So that was my mistake, guys. I hope you get to learn from this, and I hope I can learn from this and make better decisions in the future. I will see you in my next video, guys.